If you ever took a high school English class, there's a chance you had to read Lord of the Flies by William Golding. One of the reasons Lord of the Flies is such a big high school read is that it's about young people. The novel tells the story of a bunch of schoolboys whose plane crash lands on an island. And then, things get weird. Turns out people have the capacity for a lot of nasty stuff when they're set free from social constraints. And when it came to school children, William Golding, who was English, knew a thing or two. His dad was a master at Marlborough Grammar School. Young William grew up on the school grounds and went there as a student. It was school 24/7 for Golding. In 1935, Golding was in his 20s and he needed a job, so he decided to join the family trade. He got a job teaching at Bishop Wordsworth School in Salisbury, England. He taught there for the next 20 years, though he did take a break to fight in World War II. After the war, he grew a scraggly beard, so his students nicknamed him Scruff. And he was maybe not the best teacher. One of his former students described him as the wrong person to be a school teacher. Golding was more interested in writing and would spend his free time clacking away on a typewriter. He would hand out pages of his work to his students and have them count the number of words on each page. Not exactly Dead Poet Society. But all the while he was observing his students, taking notes, gathering material. He'd even stir up conflict to see what happened. One time, he took his class on a field trip to a prehistoric fort called Figsbury Ring. He split his kids into two groups, one to attack and one to defend. And then he just let them go at it. It was like King of the Mountain with no rules. Golding later called it experimental science. He wanted to see just how far they would go. And he was amazed at what he saw. Nothing as extreme as Lord of the Flies, but perhaps that's because Golding the adult could step in and say, "Hey, don't kill your classmates, thanks." And that's where Lord of the Flies came from. That wasn't Golding's only book, by the way. Supposedly he hated being famous for just one novel, but its huge success did allow him to quit teaching and spend the rest of his life writing, which he did. William Golding wrote over a dozen other novels, as well as essays, plays, short stories, and a book of poems titled, wait for it, Poems. He even won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1983. Not bad for old Scruff, a teacher who learned more from his students than they may have learned from him.